Hello and welcome to this round 11 here at Grand Prix Utrecht. I'm Tim Willoughby, joined as always by Matej Big Z Zadelkai, and we have quite the matchup for you here. Marcio Carvalho, the number one ranked player in the world after his finals appearance at Pro Tour Ether Revolt, is here, and once again he has Mardu Vehicles. His opponent, Stefan Gunther, was hoping to dodge Mardu Vehicles with a deck that he's dubbed Marvel Invention. It's kind of a cool list. It's using Etherworks Marvel, but it's got a lot of sneaky ways of getting it into play. It doesn't just have to do so the old-fashioned way, paying mana. It can use Whir of Invention to improvise up an Etherworks Marvel at a moment's notice. So that turn one Attune with Ether to gain energy, a very important piece of what he's got going on, and I can already see an imposing statuary in hand. This is an unusual deck that seems to be working out both of these players at 8 and 2.
Yeah, he's already growing his energy count up to 5. There's a Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot. And I just want to see this in action. But, you know, you didn't want to play against Mardu. How about you play against the number one ranked player in the world playing Mardu? That's a bit rough. Yeah,
we can rely on Marcio not to make any mistakes here. Gets the turn 2 Scrap Heap Scrounger, meaning that that's it's always the one.
Toolcraft Exemplar, Tim. Come on.
Toolcraft Exemplar getting in there for 3, and another Attune with Ether coming from Stefan Gunther here. He's also playing out another Puzzle Knot here. His energy just going through the roof. He will be able to activate Etherworks Marvel just as soon as he likes, assuming he can get it into play in time. Thus far, this game going at a brisk pace, probably the shuffling the only thing that's really slowing it down. Both these players on 2 losses, they know that they need to have a good day for the rest of the day here. Inspiring Statuary going to the bottom there. Second one of them doesn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think he wants to hit his 4th land drop. He might already have a Marvel in his hand. So, yeah, he was using the Glass Blow's Puzzle Knot to scry 2 and try to hit the 4th one, just to be safe.
Here's a veteran motorist from Carvalho. He sees Thalia, Heretic Cathar, and a land there.
Spire of Industry. Probably wants the Spire because I think he has a Gideon in his hand. So he wants to put on the beats.
Now we see here the reason that Gunther, looking to avoid Mardu Vehicles, doesn't want to have to deal with the fact that there's lots of attacking going on. But here is the turn 4 Etherworks Marvel right on time. He has 6 energy. All he needs to do now is spin the wheel and win big.
Yeah, the thing is he is on 14, so he can easily survive this attack, and the good thing is he can probably do 2 Marvel activation if he desires, because he has 9 energy, and he still has both Puzzle Knots in place too, so he can, if he has something else in hand, he could probably make it work.
Another Toolcraft Exemplar there coming down for Marcio Carvalho. Carvalho's draw has been very solid, going wide with his creatures.
Yeah. Putting both creatures on the side just to indicate that they won't be attacking.
Even has something to do with that Spire of Industry. It is a Thraben Inspector coming down. Gets him a clue. Still only 2 artifacts in play, so Toolcraft Exemplar will not be gaining first strike as well.
So there's a clue.
And combat happens. This is the point where Etherworks Marvel gets activated.
Oh, let's do it. Spin the wheel.
A little smirk from Stefan Gunther here. Come on, 6 cards. It's almost like drawing a whole new hand as he looks here for one big permanent to put in play.
He found a good one. Fumigate your board. All 6 of your creatures. Boom.
Yeah, any spell that you find, you do get to cast off Etherworks Marvel, and he's also going to gain 3 life in that process.
Yeah, Marcio doubly punished. Like, he played out his cards before attacking, and then probably not expecting Fumigate, and now his whole board got destroyed. And Gunther's back up to 20 with 3 energy. Probably easily can generate more for another spin.
The funny thing was that he did have an option on Ulamog as well, and he said, you know what, clearing your board's more important.
Yeah.
Implement of improvement there from Stefan Gunther. I'm intrigued to see the Inspiring Statuary plan happening. It looked like I saw one in hand for him earlier on.
Yeah. Going up to...
Gaining a whole bunch more energy, and he's going to be able to spin the wheel again soon enough.
Yeah, he actually got 3 energy because the Etherworks Marvel not only gave him the one. Look at that. He's like, okay, I'm looking at my top cards. Okay, it's Ulamog. Yeah, I'm going for Ulamog. Not hesitating. So he gained 2 energy from the puzzle knot itself, and then 1 from the marble trigger, bringing up to 6. And now, in response to Gideon, he found he found an Ulamog. I know on which side I would want to be.
Yeah, this is a rough turnout for the books for the #1 ranked player in the world. He's just watching an Aetherworks Marvel deck doing exactly what it needs to, and yes, yep, all right, fine, you got me.
Look at the face from Marcy. He's like, what just happened?
Yeah, that is the face of someone who is not expecting a fumigate of an Aetherworks Marvel, and to be fair, I would probably have been making about the same sort of a face there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have mattered that much if Marcia had not played out 3 creatures before combat and waited for to play them after combat, but still, that was brutal.
He had a chance to jump in on Andrei Stradsky with 2 copies of Dynavolt Tower in play for his Teemo Dynavolt Tower deck against Mardu Vehicles, but he's on just 5 life. A lot of work to do, no energy currently sat in his energy pool. This is going to be a rough one. Pia Nala already in play alongside the Thopter that she brings with her, and 2 copies of Thraben Inspector and all those clues. Charlie Trabach here on Mardu Vehicles, also on 9-1 and with a healthy life advantage.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both Andre and his teammate from Channel Fireball, Ice Joel Larson, both lost their first round today. They're at 9-1 and 8-2 respectively.
Larson also in the feature match area. He's playing Pierre Dajon on 4-color Sahili. It's possible we may get a chance to jump across with that one, or maybe even see it in a time walk match with a pro later on.
That would be sweet.
In the meantime, though, Andrei Stradsky does need to find something to do about the board that he's got going on. With 2 copies of that Dynavolt Tower, any spell that he casts is going to gain him a lot of energy. He may be able to get a bolt or 2 off from those towers, but it could be a parting shot given that he's on just 5 life.
Yeah, no energy to spare. Just, I see 2 lands in his hand, but he does have some spells as well. Well, Glimmer is a great start.
6 energy, scry 2, and then draw 2.
He found actually a Harness Lightning and a land, so I think he's going to keep the Harness Lightning and get 1 new card.
I'll have 1 that I know about and 1 that I don't, please, dealer.
Yep, there we go. Ether Hub as well. So that means he's up to 6 energy. Harness Lightning is going to make him up to at least 10.
Yeah, Harness Lightning, there are moments in this deck where you just say, I'm just going to play it as an energy generator and not worry too much about killing things off.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, Andre can kill a lot of creatures, but he not only has to deal with the double Thraben Inspector, the Pia, the Thopter, there's also Shambling Ven hiding along those lands, and 2 clues, meaning that Charlie will get some more gas sooner rather than later. With Andre at 5 is already a very rough spot for him.
We have seen time and again, though, this Dynavolt Tower deck able to work its way out of difficult positions, and he's got lands in play, he's got towers in play. It's not a comfortable place for Andrei Stradsky to be, but he's been in worse spots and come through it.
Yeah. He's a fighter.
This is still game 1 for these 2 9-1 players. Game 1 on our main table did not take too long with Marcio Carvalho and Stefan Gunther. We will jump back to that where we can.
Oh, look at that. Charlie also has a Gideon in hand.
Charlie Trabach of the Netherlands coming in with both of those Thraben Inspectors and a Thopter.
Yeah, he wants Andre to commit to kill something, just so that he can play the Gideon and not have to be scared of a negate.
Yeah, one of the cards that I guess that Andrei Stradsky needs to be worried about is Unlicensed Disintegration. On 5 life, he can't afford to take much damage, and it's the Thopter that gets taken down by that Harness Lightning. Goes up to 7 energy, takes 2. There is a Gideon. It looks like there is an Unlicensed Disintegration as well.
Of course there is him.
No targets.
Yet. But this is the problem. Once Andrei Stradsky gets to 3, the Mardu Vehicles deck with an Unlicensed Disintegration hand means that Andre will have a very hard time playing Torrential Gearhulks. He also plays Rogue Refiners. Those are not great, as he does do a Shielded Ether Thief. all these cards are targets for the disintegrations, and the 3 damage can be lethal right away.
Well, Rogue Refiner, he had to play something. He gained some energy for his trouble, drew a card. But from now on, we know that, as always, Mardu Vehicles has the unlicensed disintegration, and that means that Andrei Strasky drawing pretty thin here.
Yeah, he's still alive though. He has no energy and just shut down a Gideon, but he has to deal with either the unlicensed disintegration. Charlie could also try to attack with the Shambling Vent too, but I think he's just gonna go for the disintegration. Yep. And
all right, game 1, you got me, but the reason we play best of 3, it's not over yet. These players are going to be going to their sideboard. On the other match, we can see these players just considering opening hands. It looks like
Marcy's mulliganing, I think, which must make Stefan Günther happy. His deck is really very, very cute. I found the deck list here, and he's not only playing Whir of Invention.
I like it.
As another way to find the marvels, but he also is playing the double inspiring statuary, and he has like a whole bunch of puzzle nodes, even the red puzzle node, and the 4 implement of improvement is something that works probably especially well with those words. But you know, you could see, like, you could look through the decks and be like, what is this? And then towards the end it's like, oh, 2 Fumigate as well. And Marcy was on the end of 1 in game 1.
Yeah, Whir of Invention, definitely an interesting inclusion. It means that you can sometimes, you know, your control player taps out to cast a big Torrential Gearhulk, and you say, in response to that, I'm going to search up an Aetherworks Marvel and activate it and play Ulamog, say.
Yeah.
All right, fine, now your mere 6-drop resolves.
Well, we'll see if Marcy finds a better one here. Stefan was really saying that Mardu is his worst matchup, that he wants to dodge as much as possible. But he might actually take this from the number 1 ranked player in the world.
A mulligan to 6 there for Marcio. Implement of improvement on turn 1 for Stefan Günther. And here's a veteran motorist. Now, if you're Stefan here, basically you want to avoid Marcio having a quick draw, because that is one of the things that this Marvel Invention deck can get punished by. Yeah,
a quick draw or some really punishing release the gremlins is a card that we saw is very popular. It sometimes can really hurt. It slows down your development, but release the gremlins not scary in the face of implement of improvement. So, but the quick damage is coming here, and there's an Ether Meltdown, more energy for Stefan Günther, and a way to neutralize that veteran motorist.
Ether Meltdown particularly potent against Scrap Heap Scroungers, because it's a way of dealing with them without putting them in the graveyard, which they can simply come back from.
Yeah. Okay, so he's up to 3 energy now. He also
Toolcraft Exemplar with no artifacts just yet for Marcio Cavallo.
I already see Marvel in hand. I think I see double Ether Meltdown from Marcio, and I think what's going to happen this turn, I think Stefan is going to play the Ether Meltdown and then untap with 5 energy, play Ether Huff to get the 6-1, and I think he already has the Marvel. There's a Thalia. Okay, so that's going to hold of that plan for at least the turn. There's the Ether Meltdown, up to 5 energy.
Is there a basic land here to make this plan all come together?
I don't think so. I think there's a Spire of Industry. Ooh. He just drew a Plains, but that means that he will not have 6 energy for the Aetherworks Marvel flip. So he might just start off with the hub anyway. That's tapped. There we go.
Has got mana available to sacrifice his implement if he so chooses. Gain a bit of life, and once Aetherworks Marvel's in play, also gain some energy.
Yeah, and that's a nice thing about the improvement and the puzzle nodes. Once you play the Marvel and spin the wheel once, if it's not enough, you can start sacrificing your other artifacts and gain a small increments of energy from sacrificing those, thanks to the triggered ability on Aetherworks Marvel.
Also, of course, working just fine with Whir of Invention.
Yeah.
Renegade Map, the pickup there for Stefan Günther.
Yeah, another one of those cheap artifacts that works with Marvel in this regard. Yeah, there's a Marvel. 6 energy.
Go, Johnny, go, 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 go. What have you got for me, Marcio Carvalho, number 1 ranked player in the world?
Better be something good. I know he has a Gideon.
Well, he does go for the Planeswalker.
Well,
and
he goes in for something in response. Which I'm surprised by. Maybe I think he's playing Metallic Rebukes. Maybe that's the reason. He's playing 4 of those in main deck.
Of course,
World Breaker, Linvala the Preserver.
I like it.
Yeah, he has 2 in the sideboard. So on this board, he would gain 5 life and get a 3/3. Not bad. Your Gideon resolves. This is fantastic. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Marcio, like, there must be a little bit of head shaking going on for him here, because this is an unusual turn of events.
I feel bad for him.
I think close to the mark. I feel great for Stefan Gunther here. This is just
sure.
This is just a bonkers deck that is doing everything that it wants to on time every time.
Yeah, so he's got a 5/5 and a 3/3 flyer.
Gideon going down. We'll see what happens with Gideon's loyalty, whether or not it's going up, down, where it's moving about to.
Yeah, they both. I mean, they both come into play tap because of Thalia, so at least Marcio can attack here. Looking at Ether Meltdowns, what does this do again?
Is it -4 power?
I think
it's -3.
I think it's -4.
So that means that even a Gideon emblem is not necessarily going to make attacks all that exciting just yet.
And Marcio's thinking like, oh god, I'm gonna pass the turn and he's gonna untap, and what is he gonna do then?
Yeah, Linvala the Preserver putting a lot of extra power on this battlefield.
Yeah. It's a legitimate win condition. Marcio looking at his sideboard already, trying to figure out, okay, what can I draw here? Did I board out this card? Did I board out that card? Or is he just preparing tokens? He's ready.
He's got a lot of Knight Ally tokens. If the game goes super long, he might be able to make something happen here.
Yeah, it's
maybe he just
unlikely.
likes the feel of having a hand full of cards.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that. Those tokens, you see them, they're all in different colored sleeves to his main deck, so he's never going to get confused and shuffle them in.
Oh yeah, Stefan Gunther down to 22. Poor guy.
How will he cope?
Right, end of turn sacrifice. The implement gets an energy from the Marvel.
Goes back to 24.
Has 1 more Ether Meltdown, as you do.
Sometimes you just need the third Ether Meltdown.
Yeah, has a Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot and tune with Ether as well. You can find a basic. So
and crucially, gain a bit more energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We wouldn't ever want these wheels to stop spinning.
All right. So 3 energy. I think he's going to look for a forest here.
Yeah, currently doesn't have a source of green that's not going to cost him energy. Don't necessarily want to be spending energy on anything other than Aetherworks Marvel just now.
Oh, look, and how much Stefan going to be feeling about, probably knocking out the #1 ranked player in the world out of a GP top 8 contention, all the while spinning the Marvel.
Well, I mean, it's not over yet.
Of course.
Marcio Carvalho, he's got a lot of experience in this game, and he is playing one of the decks that Stefan Gunther was concerned about. As things stand, Linvala gets to attack Gideon. That's another threat dealt with. There's Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot.
Of course. Up to 5 energy?
Up to 6, and I think he's just going to use the Marvel right now.
Yeah, of course.
Means that he doesn't need to find the number on the dice. I think we can all respect that.
All right, let's find something good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, Nissa Vital Force.
I like it. I can dig it.
This is getting better every minute.
Now, I recognize that this may not be the most objectively powerful Aetherworks Marvel deck we've ever seen. Clearly, Emrakul is no longer an option. However, I love the variety of targets that Stefan Gunther has hit so far in this match. We've seen Linvala, we've seen Nissa, we saw Fumigate in game 1.
World Breaker was in one of the cards he was thinking about. We definitely saw an Ulamog in the previous game. And he still has the mana to play an Ether Meltdown here after having such a nice turn with a Nissa Vital Force. He can just keep going as well the next turn, like sacrifice Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot, get a bunch of energy, sacrifice Renegade map for more energy. He can even return the Implement of Improvement with Nissa if he wanted to.
Hearts of Kieran and Thraben Inspector, these are all fine plays, but objectively speaking, I'm just not as excited as by everything crazy that's going on Stefan Gunther's side of the board.
I mean, Marcio's draws also weren't that atrocious. Like, he curved out with some creatures, but it always seemed like Stefan Günther had the right answer at all times.
Renegade map getting sacrificed here, generating an energy, finding another land. I just can't wait to see what happens next. I'm intentionally not looking at the deck list because I like being surprised.
Yeah, sorry for spoiling that, but I just had to look.
For those of you wondering, in terms of deck lists, yes, you will not see them on the website just yet. However, you absolutely will see deck lists for any cool decks that you've seen over the course of this weekend. Frank Carsten, our text reporter, is taking very careful note of what you guys are interested in, and we'll try and make sure that if there's a new cool deck on camera, it's a new cool deck that you will get a chance to check out and potentially take to a future tournament if you so choose. Yeah. Woodweaver's Puzzle not getting sacrificed there. Stefan Günther's life total only going up. Yeah. 5 energy now, just needs 1 more if he's going to activate yet another Aetherworks Marvel.
I mean, he has an Aether Meltdown, so... Look at that, 5/5 Linval attacking here. And Stefan Günther could have also maybe already gotten an emblem from this, but nah, he's just getting a 5/5 blocker every turn, just in case. But we know he has the Aether Meltdown, so he can spin the wheel whenever he likes and keep digging for more good stuff.
And here's Chandra coming down for Marcio Carvalho. A lot of work for Marcio Carvalho to do here. He's on 15 life, so it's not as if it's going to be a quick end that Stefan Günther is able to provide. However, on the board, in spite of everything that Carvalho has going on, he's got a lot of work to do.
All right, Chandra, what are you up to? Decisions. We know that Stefan Günther is already sandbagging the Aether Meltdown in his hand, which is going to give him 2 extra energy, up to 7, so Marvel activation imminent. And Mars is still trying to find a way to get back in case, because it can always happen. Marvel can reveal no relevant card, Stefan Günther can draw 3-4 lands in a row, and Marcel can maybe find a way to get back into the game. There's a Heart of Kirin being crewed with the Toolcraft Exemplar in combat. And there's the Aether Meltdown we mentioned. 7 energy.
Yeah, when we're back above 6 energy and another big threat dealt with by Aether Meltdown.
Yeah. And then using the mana from Chandra to play a Scrappy Scrounger rather than doing anything else. All right, more Marvel.
I like it.
Ulamog time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th. One of these spells is going to get played.
Okay. Ooh, a Johnny Unyielding.
Excellent.
Why not? More Planeswalkers, more fun.
I like it.
Another one up from his sideboard. I like that he's boarding into Planeswalkers against the Mardu. Yeah, there's the handshake from Mars. He's like, I've seen enough.
I don't think I've seen enough. I would quite happily watch
plenty
more of this one. I think there's a good chance that we're going to try and get Stefan into the feature match area again, assuming that he's able to keep up this sort of a record. A 2-0 victory over the #1 ranked player in the world there. You can see Marcio's face. This is not a deck that he was expecting. It's not a deck that any of us were expecting, but congratulations to Stefan Günther. We didn't even see Aware of Invention, but we saw plenty of inventiveness nonetheless. And we get a chance to move across and see some more magic. This is Charlie Trabak trying to take down Andrei Straczky, and there is the handshake. Unlicensed Disintegration doing it. just big names falling in our feature match area.
Yeah, left and right. Yeah, Andrzej Strasky. He's also ranked in the top 25, even though we don't have it up on this graphic. But yeah, unlicensed disintegration again, taking down the game, as has been the case for much of yesterday and start of today.
Much of the standard format, unlicensed disintegration. Previously, when vehicles first was a thing, we were talking about red-white vehicles being the deck. But unlicensed disintegration, such a powerful removal spell. Kill a creature, deal 3 damage to your opponent, which in turn can get redirected to planeswalkers. It is one of the key reasons that vehicles ends up being Mardu.
And look at that, at the back table, the match between Jackie Chan and some of you also finished already. I wonder who is taking the match slip there.
We're actually going to move them to one of the tables, so we're going to get a chance to watch. They haven't finished yet, but you know what? We have cameras, we have players, we might as well watch some of them in action. We're going to get them on camera just as soon as Marcio and Stefan have picked up their decks and moved along.
Very cool.
Even more magic in our feature match area. I can't say that I'm sad about that.
Yeah, of course. So, but I assume they're going to go to game 3 because it's Mardu Ballista facing off against the John Agro list, and we've seen this matchup be fairly volatile.
And then, of course, we do also have Pierre Dargent and Joel Larson playing in the feature match area. That match is being recorded. We're going to see if we can potentially bring you some of that in a time-walked match once our other matches are completed. We want to try and make sure that you guys watching get just as much magic as possible. After this round, we are going to have some replays from the end of yesterday, but then for the rest of this tournament, after every section of live play, we're going to have some time-walked matches with Rich bringing a pro into the booth and talking through exactly what's going on. These players, Yupan Jackie Chan on the left of our screen, Samuel Vio on the right, our last remaining undefeated players. They are just shuffling up so they can get another game in. We'll find out the game score and get that updated for you in a second. I'm pretty confident it's not 0-0 at this point.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how Jund Agro pairs up against Mardu Ballista. This is kind of, I'm almost thinking of this as the control deck of the Mardu suite that we've seen across this weekend. Not full control, it can certainly beat down, but with so many planeswalkers, at least after boarding, it's got a little bit more flexibility to tailor itself to what opponents are doing.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely going to be interesting. And I've really liked the Mardu Ballista deck so far. I mean, it has been popping up on Magic Online over the last week, but I like the fact that it has succeeded pretty well with 2 9-0 players after day 1 and some others making it to day 2, and players really making a stake for a walking Ballista being really important for the Mardu deck.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that it was a more obvious choice that it was going to go in green-black, where obviously Winding Constrictor means that it's just always going to have loads of counters if you want that. But as it turns out, just playing full retail for it, it just deals with a whole bunch of threats in one go. For one card, it has a lot of kind of velocity to it. Yeah,
especially if the games go a little bit longer, and there's some neat stuff you can do because the Mardu Ballista decks also run Chandra usually, so getting some extra mana, making big ballistas is really not out of the question. Whereas if you would imagine it in one of those previous shells for the Mardu decks that we've seen since the Pro Tour, walking Ballista would not be an automatic inclusion.
Well, Yupan Jackie Chan is on a multi-6 and he's put a card to the bottom. That's a little bit tricky for him. We will try and get those game scores updated just so we can let you guys know where we're at in the match, but one way or another. So this is our deciding game between these 10-0 players. One of them's going to walk away 11-0, and while that doesn't guarantee top 8, it puts them in the best position of anyone in the room.
Oh yeah, of course. This is probably about maybe for the last 2 undefeated players. There might be one more in the tournament, but this player, the winner of this match, will definitely lead the pack.
Long Tusk Cub there from Yupan Jackie Chan. 1 energy so far from an Ether Hub. Another Long Tusk Cub in hand. I like the Cub. If it works out that it works with a Winding Constrictor, it's quite frankly foolish. And also kind of interesting what it ends up doing with the big elephant.
Greenbelt Rampager?
Greenbelt Rampager that's generating energy but also eating energy. You can choose to just use it as an energy generator for Long Tusk Cub if you wish.
Yeah, and especially combine that with a Winding Constrictor. Whew.
All right, so not too much coming from Vio there, just Thraben Inspector, leaving mana up for the clue, or maybe a spell coming in here, maybe? After sideboarding, there could be a few extra options, you know, immolating glares and so on. There might be a fatal push waiting for this long tusk cub. Samuel Vio, head in hands, thinking what he wants to do.
Already in turn 2 with so many cards in his hand. I think he's maybe thinking about if he should just chump block with the Thread Inspector. But he doesn't seem very happy. It might be a tough decision. Maybe he has like a Spire of Industry or something similar. And yeah, and just takes it, and 2 energy going Yupan Jackie Chan's way. See if Jackie can up the tempo with something else here. Again, he's a little nervous. I think, yeah, he has double Heart of Kirin in his hands. Not where he wants to be.
Yeah, it's just a moment of indecision, I guess, for Samuel Vio. Early turns against these aggro decks, you do want to do everything you can, just kind of stem the bleeding if you're planning on going a little bit bigger.
Another long tusk cub, but no third land. Is this going to give Samuel Vio the window to do something here? I think he has a Spire of Industry. I think he has Unlicensed Disintegration.
The fact that he has Unlicensed Disintegration, I'm confident of. Whether or not he has the appropriate red mana to cast it is a little bit more of a question, but you're right, there is a Spire of Industry in hand here for Vio. The Frenchman just figuring out the sequencing if he wants to let Yupan Jackie Chan spend his energy recklessly, perhaps, or just simply deal with the creature as soon as he can. Takes out one of the long tusk cubs now. This may be him respecting, for example, I don't know, something like Blossoming Defense, just meaning that he's dealing with the creature while Jackie Chan tapped out. These players don't have full access to the deck lists of their opponents just yet. We don't put deck lists up in the coverage until after the Swiss is completed. We don't want any of players getting an unfair advantage. And Jackie just getting stuck in for 3 here, getting a bit more energy as that long tusk cub hits.
Heart of Kirin as well.
That starts to explain why he wants a 3/3 cub rather than a 2/2. It's not just damage on the board, it means that now he can crew that Heart of Kirin.
He has another Heart of Kirin in reserve as well, and looks like Samuel Vio just drew an Oath of Chandra. Not great against the long tusk cub now, but he has another Unlicensed Disintegration, of course, as we like to say.
Let's just kill off those cubs where we can. 3 points of damage each time. Somehow or other, this damage race in Samuel Vio's favor, in spite of the fact that he's only had 1 creature on the battlefield, all because of these very, very efficient removal spells that are killing a creature and dealing 3 points of damage at the same time. Voltaic Brawler comes along, immediately crews Heart of Kirin. That's another big swing in. Vio, he's bloodied, he's taken half of his damage now, he's on just 10 life.
Yeah, this is bloody.
Oh, sorry, he'd taken a point of damage off the Spire that we weren't quite updated on, so 9 now.
Vio really wanted the 4th land here. He has Chandra that I'm sure he would have liked to minus to kill the Voltaic Brawler.
Maybe releasing some gremlins here to deal with that Heart of Kirin.
Potentially. He could also use Oath of Chandra to destroy the Voltaic Brawler. He's just going to go for release the gremlins here and get it to 2.
He gets himself an extra blocker. He gets rid of the big flying threat on the board. We have seen a lot of gremlins in our feature match over the course of this weekend. It's a card that I think that people knew was good, but only got better after the outcome of the Pro Tour, where people could be more confident about seeing artifacts just all over the place.
Yeah, but Sam again had to take some damage, and now down to 8. And Yupan Jackie Chan is still on 2 lands only. He can now play Heart of Kirin and threaten lethal in 2 turns. He also play out the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Maybe he has some other cards that are relevant, but this might end up being a nail biter.
And Yupan Jackie Chan here, obviously it's tough anytime that you have a draw with just a couple of lands, but his deck well put together to be able to still function with just 2 lands in play. Every turn he's been able to cast a spell, in this case a Heart of Kirin, chooses not to attack in here, doesn't want to trade Voltaic Brawler for a Gremlin, because right now that Brawler can jump in the Heart of Kirin, and that is something that's very important to him if he wants to close this game out. Yeah,
so now I think Vio drew Fatal Push. So I think what he should do is play Oath of Chandra, kill the Voltaic Brawler, swing with the team, Fatal Push the Heart of Kirin if that was crude. If not, he can Fatal Push it once he untaps. Or maybe it's something better. Okay, another Release the Gremlins. I didn't see that card. Another creature developing his board further.
This is how you get back in the game. Obviously, it hurts that Jackie's not drawn lands, but worth noting that neither has Samuel. Both of these players operating on a small amount of mana, and every time that Vio has to tap that Spire of Industry, he's taking a point of damage. This is not ideal for either player.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one thing that we do note, typically when players are short on lands, the first person to draw out of it will just get a huge jump because you've just been gradually accumulating powerful cards in hand.
Yeah. Ether Hub, okay. And I think now Vio can probably play Chandra plus her for mana and play Oath as well.
Another option he has is Oath of Chandra, and I think he has a Declaration in Stone in hand as well. So once you get up to 4 mana, 2 spells in a single turn is an interesting option.
Yeah, I think it's Gideon, Chandra, or Oath of Chandra, Fatal Push, and one more card. Might be the Declaration Stone you mentioned, but I think he just has double Gideon.
Okay, yes, possibly.
Yeah,
yes, you're right. I apologize for that.
But I quite like the plan with Chandra plus for mana. And it looks like... Is he going? No, he's going for just the Oath first.
Yeah, with Jackie so low on mana, killing off Scrap Heap Scrounger doesn't hurt quite as much as it normally would. And then Fatal Push to clear things out. Big swings there from Samuel. The first turn that he's had the opportunity to swing in without having to worry too much about things.
Yeah, I think what... why Samuel is doing it on his turn, because he doesn't want Jackie Chan to untap into an untap Swords and do something like an Unlicensed Disintegration while still having an artifact in play, just to be sure. And there's a Needle Spires here. There's a swing.
This has been an unfortunate turn of events for Yupan Jackie Chan. He was able to fight through for a while, but just has not drawn a third land at any point in this game.
Yeah.
Now on just 3 life, those gremlins, they are hungry for Yupan Jackie Chan's final few life points. Needle Spires coming down as potentially another creature. Here is Chandra, Tortured Defiance, ticks up, reveals a land on top. That's 2 damage to the face, and here's the hand extended. Yupan Jackie Chan falls. Samuel Vio of France, our last undefeated player in the tournament, 11-0. Big smiles from him. Congratulations, and you can see that was the last match in our feature match area for this round 11. We will have replays shortly for you, but first, these messages.